Alright guys, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all these points from a swim meet and we're going to figure out what the results are by using our calculator, okay? Because remember I told you that matrices were like the very, very beginning steps of computer programming, right? So here we go. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take all the results. So if you like those fantasy football stuff and all those guys that are on TV calling out all the announcement for sports and stuff like that, they don't just figure out all these statistics in their head. So they use, So they use a program that does it for them, and somebody had to program that program. So this is how we're going to start doing it. So what are the top row of, what is the top row of my matrix? 4, 7, and 3. All right, what's the second row?
8, 9, 10.
Yeah. And then the third row is 10, 5, and 3. And then 3, 3, and 6. Are y'all okay so far with that? Any issues? All right, then we have to read through that problem, and we have to figure out how many points we're going to be given or awarded for each place. Here we go. No, we're using them right now. All right, so how many points were awarded for first place? 7. How many points were awarded for second place? 4. Jackson, okay. What about for third place? 2. In the problem, read to the question. How many points were awarded for first place?
7.
There you go. Got it? Okay. Anybody lost about where I got those numbers from? Okay, and then all we're going to do is we're going to multiply those two matrices together. And so when we do that, we've got to check our dimensions, and then we can plug it in our calculator. Y'all okay so far? All right, so let's check our dimensions. What are the dimensions of this first guy? How many rows? 4 rows. And how many columns? 3. What about the next one? 3 by what? 1. Do they match up? Middle ones match up, right? That means it's possible. I can do it. And the outside numbers give you the size of your answer. So the size is going to be 4 rows. Yep. 2, 3, 4. And let's grab our calculators. You ready? All right. Here we go. First place we go is matrix, but it's in blue. So if it's in blue, you have to hit second, then matrix. All right, then we're going to go over to edit. We're going to hit enter on the first one. And what's the size of that first one? 4, enter, 3, enter. There you go. And then type all your numbers in. Okay, then what do we do once we get all those numbers typed in? Second matrix again. There you go. Second matrix again. Go over to edit, but we're not going to edit the first one this time. We're going to edit the second one so that we can put in this guy. And this one's a 3 by 1. So then from there, our calculator is in edit mode. We have to get it out of edit mode. So how do we get it out of edit mode? second and then quit, or second and mode, whatever you want to call it, okay? Yeah. Okay. They've been doing this for a while, that's why I'm making sure you're okay on it. All right, then we go back to matrix, second matrix, and we hit enter on the first one. You got to make sure they're in order, because if they're not in order, your calculator is going to give you an error, okay? And we're going to hit multiply, second matrix, down to the second one. And it should give you your answer. Y'all okay? All right, so let's see. We have 62, 94, 96, and 45. So, which school won the meet? Yep. Why?
Because they had 96.
Because they had 96, right? So let's see. We're in pre-AP. Here we go. Hayes High if you want to, or Hayes won the swim meet. Because why? They had the most points. There you go. Huh? Because remember, you got to multiply the 7 and then add by 20 and then add by, remember? And it's easy when you have small ones like that, but when you get into like NFL football and all those other things, like what is it with basketball? What do they call it with basketball? March Madness. That's what they call it. I'm sorry, I don't call it basketball. But they do March Madness and all that stuff, and they have all those different brackets that everybody's in. They got to use matrices to figure it out because there's way too many numbers and stuff going on. Or a computer uses matrices, should I say? They don't use it. Y'all okay? All right, let's flip over real quick. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. We're going to find out what determinants are. Do you notice anything different about the way these look? They don't have the brackets. They have what looks like absolute value, right? But they're not actually absolute value. So do you know how we have like addition and subtraction and multiplication and division and all that good stuff? Y'all good? So determinant is basically just another operation, but it's for matrices only. If that makes sense. Does that not make sense to you? Okay. All right. How do you read a book? From which way to which way? Left to right. So this is the only time that you do this is when it says determinant. We go from left to right. So we take that top number, 6, and we multiply it by that bottom number on the right, 7. And what is 6 times 7? How much?
42.
42. There you go. And then determinants, we're always going to subtract. And let's do the other ones. What's negative 2 times 5? Negative 10. And that becomes the 2 negatives make it positive. Only reason we're adding is because 2 negatives make it positive. We always subtract. So what is our determinant of that matrix? 52. There you go. All right, what about number 2? Always start from left to right. So we're going to do negative 6 times negative 1, which is how much?
6.
Positive 6. And we're always going to subtract. Let's multiply the other ones. What's negative 3 times negative 4?
12.
Positive 12. So it's going to be subtract positive 12. So what's your determinant? Negative 6. Yep. Y'all okay? All right, last one. Here we go. What is 8.6 times 5? 43. And we're going to subtract. And what is 0.5 times 14? Perfect. So we're going to subtract positive 7, and our determinant is perfect. Y'all okay? Okay, I want you to do this real quick. I want you to try 4 and 5 on your own, and then I'm going to show you how to do it in your calculator, okay? I want you to try 4 and 5. Don't go to 6 and 7 because they're different. Right, y'all get negative 114 on the first one? Sweet. And 144 on the next one? Anybody having issues? All right, here we go. Let's type it in. You ready? All right, so we go to second matrix. We go over to edit. We hit enter. And we do it just like we always do. That's a 2 by 2, right? Alright, everybody good so far? Alright, so then we have to get out of edit mode. So we're going to hit second quit. Alright, now, watch what I'm going to do. Don't go ahead of me. You go back to second matrix again, okay? But notice what happens when I go over some math. What's the very first one that pops up? Determinant. So you hit enter there. And you're like, your calculator's like, hey, what do you want me to find the determinant of? So you have to go back and tell it, I want to do the determinant of the first one that I typed in. And you can close your parentheses if you want to. You don't have to. What'd you get? 114. You all okay? All right, see if you can try in your calculator. See if you can try number 5 and get 144, okay? All right. Anybody having calculator issues? Anybody who cannot get 144? Okay. So, let's look at number 6. Here we go. Number 6. What's different about number 6? It's a 3 by 3, right? So, if I were to multiply all of those, that'd be fine. But then when I go to multiply these, there's nothing there, right? Y'all okay with that? So you would have to rewrite the first 2 rows. And we're going to do the hard way on Monday, and I'll show you the calculators after that. Y'all have a great day. Bye, guys. I got to get that clock fixed. It's still a minute off. No, we should be on a regular schedule tomorrow.